Welcome, Hoboken. This is Andrew. That guy's Josh. Episode number 3. We've got a logo online. Oh, we are cooking, bro. We're on Apple Podcasts, so we've got a couple things working. Let's jump right in. How was the weekend? It's Thursday right now. We're filming on Thursday. How was last weekend? How was the week? What's going on in the Josh world?
I went to a party at a friend's apartment. It was a birthday party. Got pretty fucked up. Are we cursing?
Are we cursing?
Okay?
Are we cursing?
It was the clean fuck PHUCK, so it's okay.
I guess
it's
we lost that rating on Apple as a clean version.
So now let's sing a kid's song to make up for it. Oops.
So good. You had a good time?
Yeah, it was a nice time.
Noise violations?
No. Never that crazy.
Right. I was at Ohio State University watching a former player plays for Ohio State, so that was great. Came back right into the craziness on Monday, getting the daughter to daycare or to school.
How old is your kid again?
3 years old. Any of those parents out there know that getting your child to school every day on time is a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. I have to go about a mile walk. I'm not complaining, but it's not that crazy. But my process is, my wife leaves early in the morning. I have to get her up, get her breakfast, get her dressed, get her out the door.
You have to dress your wife?
Yeah.
They're very controlling of you.
Dude, I don't know which one would be easier. And then get her all the way to school. And then the best part is if you're late, you get like this, you have to go to like a separate area. They give you a little late notice. I don't understand why. I think it's like another step for you not to do it, but there's no like penalty. Like,
so it's just constant yellow cards.
Exactly. It's just a piece of paper, and then you hand that to the teacher. So I don't know maybe they keep track.
There's a secret file.
Like there could be, there might be. I don't know.
You get reported to child services after like over 300.
Yeah, but I always think that like other moms are like judging me as I push the stroller to the front door of the school. Sometimes my daughter might not have a jacket on or might be dressed a certain way. She might be holding my phone, looking at like a video, screen time, like this big debate on screen time. And I feel like other moms are like looking and judging. And I'm like, I get a little annoyed by that, a little frustrated.
Now, do you feel like you're shut out of the moms groups?
I'm not accepted. For sure. I don't think the Hoboken Moms is a very powerful group in Hoboken.
Do they know you identify as a mom?
No, I think my wife fits that category for us, I hope. But yeah, I mean, my schedule allows me to be more present at the drop-off and pick-up. So, yeah, I'm
Is it because you don't put the toilet seat down? Is that why they don't accept you?
It's possible. Mm-hmm. But the other fathers were like a tribal little group. It's nice. Kids for you down the road, or what's your stance on kids?
I don't have any that I'm aware of right now.
Okay, could be out there.
I love other people's children, especially when they're like old enough to poop on their own, but not old enough to talk back.
Right.
And they want to like, if I'm hanging with my friends' kids or watching my friends' kids if they have to run out, like if they're old enough to jump on the couch while we're blasting music while their parents are away. And I'm not even into music, right. But like just jumping up and down on a sofa with kids while their parents are away, for like grabbing groceries for a second or whatnot is just so much fun, right. And then when they get old enough to like have opinions about stuff.
Do you get annoyed being in Hoboken with the whole stroller talk and safety with pedestrians and strollers and just having to battle with that, or is it just kind of like not a big deal?
As a pedestrian, I'm on the side of the stroller brigade, but whether it's parents or the daytime caregiver of kids, I hate when they line up in the sidewalk and you can't pass them. And it's just like, just leave a lane for the fast walkers or the kids that are on bicycle. Because many times they're in their own world, talking to each other, which is fine. And then they don't know like that there's other people around them. And you got to be cognizant, whether it's many of our drivers, who some of which drive like jerks, are scooterists who 90% drive like jerks, or bicyclists, some of which drive like jerks. You just have to be, or the joggers. The joggers are sometimes the worst.
Oh, they don't care.
They think they own part of the street. They think they own part of the sidewalk too, and it's like, I'm using my legs too. You ain't special,
You just had a slower pace.
Yeah. So whatever it is, but when the stroller brigade is like blocking up the entire width of the sidewalk, it's like, come on, people, just be a little cognizant.
So next Wednesday, the scooter pilot ends. Dude, I mean, I'm kind of got mixed feelings. I use it almost daily. I use a scooter, not so much now in the cold, brisk air, but I use a scooter. I think it's fantastic transportation-wise. It's green. Well, according to you, it's not, but I like it.
It's not according to me. It's science. You plug it in. We get most of our electricity from quote-unquote the evil fossil fuels, all right? You're just putting pollution isn't coming out of your tailpipe. It's just going.
Let's try not to resurface that one. Okay.
Too late. Too late.
Last episode.
But either way, the scooters. We don't live someplace. We don't live in California.
You think there's no fit for them?
What did you say?
There's no place for them.
I mean, there's a place. It's called the Hudson River.
All right.
I know. No, all joking aside, we don't live in a place that's warm all the time. I don't like the idea of our municipal government picking and choosing, a company that it's going to work with. If people want to buy their own scooters, buy your own scooter. Mazel tov. Have a good time. Yeah. I don't wish you ill, but just from a practical point of view, it's going to be slippy, as they say. It's going to be icy. There's going to be, frozen rain. There's going to be snow. Who's going to be riding that? Let's say we continued it. Who's going to be riding that in winter?
Right. No, I agree that it should. What I think is going to happen is they're going to they're going to end it next week. It's not going to get renewed, the pilot. It's not going to get extended. And then come spring, we're going to reopen this. And we're going to do a full RFP. And all these companies can come out and offer their best services, their best offers. And then I think we're going to wind up picking one. And I think Lime's in a strong position that they've been here. They see what worked and what didn't work. And although I am skeptical that another company could potentially come in and offer a ton more money for infrastructure, which would be nice. That's advantageous for the city. Come! You want to bring your company to Hoboken for scooters? We all know it's going to make you a ton of money. Pave Garden Street, Bloomfield Street, and Clinton, right? Fix this amount of water mains.
Yeah, so but it's not like this money that the city has gotten or hypothetically will get in the future is in lieu of taxes going up sometime in the future. Like, the taxes always go up, so they're like, oh, it saves us X amount of money, but they never actually trim the budget. They say, oh, well, we stopped the mayoral tax increase, that was X, and so we only increased your taxes Y. But they never actually rein in spending. It always goes up.
Yeah, I agree.
So whether or not we have these private-public crony, pseudo-capitalist deals with scooter companies that could just try to sell their scooters to people in a normal fashion, or not, it doesn't actually benefit the city. And I think when people have to slog through winter and realize, oh, my feet still work, this wasn't the most horrible thing in the world, I think those people won't be so keen on getting the scooters back. Some will, for sure. Even a significant portion, but most will be like, yeah, I survived, it's okay.
Right.
And you'll still have those people like myself who adamantly dislike the scooter program, who will be loud and proud and at City Hall saying, don't bring this back. Right. So if these people in City Hall want to bring this back, they're going to have to get an earful from people.
I would say, though, if you look back at this as Monday morning quarterback, the administration was not as careful with the rollout that they could have been. We could have had a educational 3-month period with community meetings, with plenty of planning meetings, get the feedback and the input of the community, what we want to see in a scooter program, what we don't, what all the rules are. And then after that, when the entire city is fully aware of what's about to come, now roll out and introduce lime or Ojo or whatever it was going to be. And the way they did it, they pretty much, here it is. And then as it was, we were dealing with the bumps and bruises. And of course it's not going to work. I mean, we had an immediate, when something like that that's new comes, people are scared of it. People are alerted about the damages and the people with the accidents and going the wrong way and all the rules. And Lime should have done a better job working with the city to try to implement some of these things that they now have implemented, and now it's too late.
Yeah, but it's not that people are afraid of scooters. Is that the situation is that the city is like somebody that has too many bills and is stressed out, and instead of dealing with those stressful problems, is going to the bar and getting drunk. After getting a bit schnookered, so to speak, you still have those bills and you have a hangover. You created extra problems for yourself, and one was not necessary. Instead of engaging in the distraction politics, i.e., getting drunk off something that seems good it seems as a fun idea, right? Instead of doing the scooters, the city should have been focused on actual municipal issues. Washington Street, anytime there's a slight wind, becomes garbage central because all the garbage bags open up. Many of our streets need to be paved properly so we don't have to do it again in 3 years. We have the constant water main breaks. We had there was a blackout in the north part of town today.
Mm-hmm. I got affected, but my building was out.
We have actual issues in the town, and instead people in City Hall want to play distraction politics and get everyone essentially drunk off joy when there's a hangover called all the issues that you mentioned that happened in the beginning, happened in the middle, and still happen now at the end of the scooter program that haven't gone away, plus all the issues that came before. It's if we were running a surplus, if we didn't have all the list of problems that we have, there wasn't empty storefronts on the avenue and elsewhere in town, fine, we could experiment with these excuse me. We could experiment with these little fun projects that I scooted once. It was fun.
Yeah, right.
But are they municipal necessities? Not at all. It's getting drunk to just drain your problems.
I agree.
Your problems.
And I think it's a lot of the times in this administration, they want to look to see what they can do first so that they can kind of almost wear that hat and say, hey, Hoboken was the first one to do that. And here are my examples. Electric scooters, plastic bag ban, straw ban. We did, the first couple days in office, we did a complete renovation for electric solar panels at the roof at City Hall, right? We did a brand new environmental waterscape in the front of City Hall. So I think a lot of these things, we made gender neutral bathrooms across the city so that this can be now publicated all the way out to the state of New Jersey that, hey, look at Hoboken. Look what Mayor Bala is doing here. And then maybe nationally, maybe try nationally to get out there. Instead of what are our core problems, what's going on, and how do we fix them?
Plastic bag ban. Have you seen the poop bag dispensers that are popping up around town?
No.
So the city has been putting up poop bag dispensers for dogs, right? We're not San Francisco. They're not for humans yet. Mm-hmm. But it's just funny that the administration that attempted and actually hasn't yet succeeded in banning single-use plastic bags from our supermarkets and our stores and demagogue the issue by saying they were single-use when many people would use them several times, including for dog poop purposes, has now put out actual single-use plastic bags around town for dog poop. These are bags you can only use once. If you're using a dog poop bag more than once, you need to seek help. You should go to a psychological ward. But the actual plastic bags that weren't single-use banned, but now some plastic bags
That's what I mean. It's clearly publicity stunt. Are we saving? What is it exactly? The idea is that I use a plastic bag, I throw it out, and that bag ends up in the Hudson River or the ocean somewhere, and that.
In theory, but I mean,
kills
a lot of the stores have recycling containers, for the plastic bags, and most people use them several times. And those bags were actually recyclable, whereas the plastic bags that ShopRite and Acme that you now have to pay for and some of the other stores put in, which they market as, as recyclable or as compliant with the law, reusable, and they're made from recyclable parts, the same as the previous bags.
Right.
There's actually no recycling market for that type of plastic. So potentially we're actually putting more plastic in landfills. And then the other stores that are using paper bags, just what is the official policy? Screw the trees.
Yeah.
What? I don't think there's any forethought that goes into anything.
I don't get it.
It's just what feels good. It's
right.
junky politics.
That's what Hoboken is.
Is
what feels good at the moment, and how does it advance my political career?
Yeah.
Before this tonight, I was at a Hoboken Housing Authority meeting. I don't think a lot of people know what the Hoboken Housing Authority is.
I definitely want to learn more, and
you're
on the board,
so the Hoboken Housing Authority, we have 1,700 residents, over 13 buildings in Hoboken, and we serve a community of residents that are low income, individuals that the federal government gives us not a stipend, but a amount of money each year to service our budget. Okay, and the individuals pay a rent for their homes based on 30% of the income that comes in. So these are not free. It's not free. It's not. Some are on Section 8 vouchers, and then some who do have jobs, we take 30% of whatever they get each year, and that's what they pay toward rent. So it's obviously subsidized. So the board that I sit on is, my individual seat is appointed by the city council. There are 3 of those seats that are by the city council. We have one seat that is by the governor, lieutenant governor, in the
that was recently filled by Erica Seitzman.
Seitzman, correct. Yeah, and then which sat for a long time. And then there's 2 seats, I believe, that are appointed by the mayor. One currently is Hovey Foreman, and then the second one still needs to be filled, so it's an empty seat right now. And we meet once a month on Thursdays, usually the second Thursday of the month. We talk about issues that are going on. We have a public portion, very similar to the city council meeting, but just only for the housing authority.
So is it kind of like a condo association board?
It's a little more advanced than that. I mean, you have to be approved. You have to be appointed by the city council or the mayor or the governor. So right off the bat, I mean,
no. But in the politics of political appointments aside, like the bread and butter of what happens at the meetings.
Correct. That's about right. Yeah, just on a larger scale. And we meet. We talk about the issues. We approve contracts. And each month it's about $1 million in the list of bills. So it's a decent amount of money that's being spent. A lot of issues. One of our core issues is that the buildings that these residents live in are in terrible shape. We're talking 100 years of just no money to be fixing them. There's no remodeling. There's no construction or maintenance. There's maintenance, but to a very small degree. So the roofs are in trouble. The elevators, we're getting brand new elevators. The boilers are going. We just had a sewage line break. So our director is dealing with these issues on a very, very tight budget. So it's very hard. And then one of the main issues for me is the buildings themselves. They smell. There's garbage. There's urine in the elevators and the stairwells. And as a fellow neighbor, like, I'm getting tired of seeing it. I'm really getting frustrated, and then there's no money to do stuff. So we're going to start a project where we're going to go out and try to raise money individually with our friends and family, and large developers in Hoboken, contractors, unions. We're going to try to get pro bono work. I want to deep clean every building. I want to try to see if we can repaint every building and create an atmosphere where, like, our youth are not walking over garbage and smelling urine and it almost becomes like acceptable, and it shouldn't be. So that's kind of what the Housing Authority is all about. We provide programming, a very small budget, but we provide programming, and get involved. I would say if you're interested, love to take a tour of our community, of the Housing Authority, attend a meeting. They're open to the public. Anybody can come, ask questions. So that's what we're doing. We're unpaid, completely volunteer. No stipend like the Sewage Authority gets a stipend. If you're a commissioner there, there's no stipend.
They got to deal with a lot of bad smells.
Yeah, right. And we do a full training through the Rutgers University. So you have to attend and get a license.
Well, my friend Matt, who's a pastor of the Mile Square Church, he does barbecues up at Columbus Garden.
Yep.
And though I am no Christian and have no interest in joining Christianity, I have volunteered many a Saturday in the summer grilling up food. And everybody at the Columbus Gardens is super duper nice. Wonderful community, great outdoor space.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it very much.
The Housing Authority gets a bad rap in town. I mean, there's some people are afraid to go. They say back there, and right, that's the kind of it's back there. It's it's some spot that you don't want to go. We redid a basketball court there 2 years ago. We got private funding, spent $5,000, put brand new backboards up, and cleaned the glass and repainted the court, and created an atmosphere where whether you're on First and Hudson or 7th and Garden, the geographic diversity that we talk about. We had a basketball tournament, and like a lot of parents were like, "Will there be security?" It's like, well, bring your, don't worry about it. I'm the security. I'll be the security. And it was a great day, great event. I want to see more of that stuff. There's no reason. I feel like the youth don't understand each other. So whether you go to Stevens or Hoboken Catholic or one of these private schools, or you're a public student, right, living in the Housing Authority, those two kids don't know. They only know what they're told by their parents or their friends, right? And there's a stigma for both. One side might be, whatever, giving everything for free, and the other side feels maybe disrespected. I bet if you get those two kids in the same room and they talk and get to know each other, that would be a beautiful thing.
And they probably watch the same cartoons and like the same sports teams.
Exactly right. And I don't think Hoboken, we don't do enough of that stuff. We really don't. It's the geographic diversity in this town is unbelievable to me. The lack of it. It's just the way it's been for years, and I don't see it changing. But we're gonna try. We're trying to do some new events to attract new people.
Okay.
What else we got going on? So it's starting to get colder now in Hoboken, and as it gets colder, as we get closer to Christmas and Santa, he brings his friends around, and we get the SantaCon, the bar crawls. What's your stance on bar crawls? Is it good for business?
In general, I'm pro anything that keeps the economic vitality of our town. Everybody that...
Very Warren Buffett of you.
Yeah, for sure. And everybody that says that, the bars are too loud, many of them enjoyed it when they were slightly younger, so many of them are hypocrites. But I think SantaCon shouldn't be illegal, right? But as, civil society isn't just the government saying what people can and can't do. We don't need our local government telling us what we can and can't do. If we want to stop SantaCon or the Santas from going too far, I don't know if it's legal, but I think everyone should get their kids super soaker, all right, and just when the Santa is peeing on the tree near your house, throw a water balloon at them or squirt them with water from your window. Don't do it if you're on the ground floor or the second floor, and just make sure that it's water.
Yeah, you should bring that to the next city council meeting for sure.
I definitely think they want to throw water balloons at each other.
Yeah.
Possibly more than water balloons.
I have no problem with them, but I do understand the opinion that they get out of control.
Well, get the bars together, right?
Well, this is where I was
pay them, get them, get them to pay for extra security.
Look, the bars, they make a ton of money, right? We want to be pro-business in this town, but we want to be pro safety and all that. We don't want to stretch our police force thin on one specific day and not have anyone pay for it. There's people that organize bar crawls, right? Those people should be, they're making money off this, right? The bars are making money off this. There should be some type of bar crawl license that you have to acquire. And with that, for example, a construction company comes in, they close down a street. They have to pay the expensive officer to stand on that street. Do nothing, but the officer makes like double overtime and the construction company has to pay for it. Now that company passes that fee on to whoever he's doing the job for, right? Or he just eats it. The same thing should apply for the bars and the bar crawls. You have to pay for a certain amount of officers to stand outside your bar, right? And you might have to pay for a certain amount of officers to be part of the bar crawl in general, to stand on the corners. That's my thing.
That'd be great. Undercover officers.
Well, they have them.
Pretending to be drunk, walking with people.
They have the undercover
egging
officers,
people
sure.
on. No, just kidding.
Yeah, picking fights.
So that I don't think that would stand the constitutional test because you have a right to be in public, you have a right to go from bar to bar, and you have the right of free association. So I don't.
But we're not challenging that. All I'm saying is pay for the police to manage it.
No, but with your thing that you were talking about having a bar crawl license.
Yeah.
So I don't need a license to gather up a group of friends, no matter how large they are, to go from one place to another.
Right.
And if you're going to say you need a license, then you're going to be regulating the type of speech. Because the minute I say it's a bar crawl, then I need some sort of license, and that's not exactly constitutional. But listen, again, we as civil society, there's nothing stopping any of us from making a petition and saying to the bars, you need to do this or else we're going to boycott you. Or else we're going to send people to stand in front of your business and yell at customers that come in. There's nothing to stop us from civil society expressing
what's
annoyance.
What's a way for you to do that? Is it a community meeting?
Yeah, we could have a community meeting and say, listen, we want everybody to be, no one's going to be 100% happy.
Right.
We don't want to get City Hall involved because that's a sure way to piss off everybody even more. We want the businesses to thrive. We don't want more empty storefronts on the avenue, or anywhere else in town. But we want a little bit more safety and security when we have these crazy bar crawl nights. And we all got crazy at one point or another in our lives. So we're all stupid and young at one point, right?
Sure.
So let's work out something. Whether it's maybe it's part the bars pay for extra police or just extra security in general, and then we decide to supplement the community emergency response team and have a neighborhood watch, and the bars pay for them to have a radio, for them to have radios or something like that. That way, everyone can feel like they're chipping in. No one feels like they're ganged up on. No one feels like their interests are being put down. And it's not going to be 100% a win-win, but as much as possible a win-win.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, the people, that own the bars, maybe not. The bars are here to stay. Whether it's a different, incarnation. Yeah, but if
the hub.
The liquor license is here to stay. Let's put it that way, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I always love to see when the council meetings prior or after the bar crawls to see exactly what everyone comes out of the woodwork and raises up their concerns and everything. So it gets pretty interesting. Let's move it over to the recent 2 parks. Let's talk a little bit about the 2 parks coming to town. So we got the Southwest Park, already acquired by eminent domain, built, over budgeted, took forever to finish, is in my opinion a concrete park, which is pretty funny to me.
It's not a park.
Yeah, it's not surrounded by cafes and restaurants. It's just roads on either side.
The most dangerous part ever. If any little kid gets excited by some concrete and tries to run across the street.
It's just insane to me how you say, okay, we're going to acquire this piece surrounded by industrial warehouses. We're going to put a park. It's going to not be grass. It's going to be all cement. We're going to put a little dog run in the corner, and then we're going to call it a day. It's going to be over budgeted. It's going to be, what was it, like $20 million? How much was it?
It's so much money.
So then that's the Southwest.
But that's why they want to take the Academy lot. That's right to the west of it.
Yeah, more cement?
I don't remember what the plan calls for, but Judge Barriso just slapped the city with basically like, I think the line he said was, this doesn't pass the smell test, where there was an issue about the appraisal and the appraisal going down, and also with the convenient recent rezoning of the area. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's at the end of the day, municipalities in New Jersey have an unfortunately very wide spectrum of the ability to use eminent domain. Basically, they can just want to. So they'll get it in the end, probably closer to a price that they want.
Right.
Probably a price that's not good for the taxpayer of Hoboken. But
we'll go through with it.
Yeah.
Because we want more parks, and we need more parks, right? That's the theory. And on that note, we go then to the Northwest Park, which a lot of people, I don't think, understand the full like download of how we got to where we're at right now. Piece of property owned by a chemical company. Okay. Chemical company wants to sell the land. Okay, goes to the city and says, City of Hoboken, this is under Mayor Zimmer. We would like to sell you this land, which is a chemical plant. We'd like to sell it to you. We'd like to give it to you for free. We were going to develop the park and build the park for free at no cost to you. All we would like is, there's a parcel of land on the west, I'm in the south, and a parcel of land on the north. We would like to develop a 6-story condo building.
How dare they?
Right? On either side. 6 stories, they match the other buildings and the other variances that were given in the area. Mayor says no. We're not. This city's not for sale. Right? So now, fast forward, we buy the land from the chemical company for, I believe it was like $35 million.
Well, we steal the land. We use eminent domain.
Right, for $35 million? Yeah. $35 million for the land. Now, we don't even know what's underneath the land, so they cap it with cement. They put up a pop-up park for $1 million for 2 years while we wait and sit and try to get the money.
That had the worst barbecue area possible.
We're in a flood zone, so the pop-up park floods every time it rains, so completely ridiculous there. Then we now take the pop-up park away. We remove the cap. We now have to dig down, start construction, and test that soil. Guaranteed there's going to be chemicals in there. This thing, between construction costs now and then actually funding it for the park, with the equipment and everything, $65 million. We're approaching and getting to the point where this could be a $100 million park.
Oh, yeah. And the
I ask you, what expense is too much to have an additional park in Hoboken?
Well, I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want more parks, if you want more green space, move to the suburbs. You live in a city. That's why you moved here in the first place. But what you're talking about, now that I alienated all of Hoboken.
Look, you got Church Square Park, right? We got Elysian Park. You've got the Fund for a Better Waterfront, doing a pretty good job of making sure that the waterway is beautiful with parks. There's another park on the water. In my opinion, enough. We have enough. We don't need another central park. But again, they're calling it the staple of parks, or the model to build a park for the state of New Jersey. Well, that's what it's going to be. Everyone's going to look toward Hoboken.
It's the largest resiliency park.
Right.
Because of its ability to have containers underneath it, which will absorb rainwater.
Now, can you explain this to me? There's like 1 million gallons of water it's going to hold, right? How does the water get into those containers?
Because it's in, most of Hoboken is below sea level.
Right. It's like a bathtub.
It'll drain there, and and it may be good for the occasional heavy storm, right?
But when you say drain this, so the rain comes down, okay? You're telling me we're going down, we're building pipes to get into those water basins?
Yeah, and the pumps that are being deployed around town underground, the ones that are in the northwest
they're going
corner
to be
of
pumping
town.
everything there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
Seems-
for the mild heavy rain and the heavy rain, it's decent, right? But these lunatics think that if the Hudson River decides to jump into Hoboken, like it did back in the hurricane, right?
Yeah.
That's going to help, and it's not, because the river breached the city. We didn't have a traditional hurricane where we get flooded from the sky. We got flooded because the Hudson was, went way higher than its normal proportion. So that happens again, and they'll say, well, the hill that we're building at the cove in the north end of town will stop them.
I love that part.
The wall that may or may not get built by the
$100 million.
NJ Transit location, that'll stop that. That'll stop it from happening there, but it's not going to stop it from the river coming over. If the 1 in 500 year chance happens again, that it won't stop the river from coming over in Weehawken or in Jersey City, and water's going to go to the lowest point. So this isn't going to help if the Hudson comes over again, but it does help the political career of the people that sit in City Hall and that sit in the administration of our town.
Right.
But the thing that you're talking about with the developer or the property owner offering, a park in the Northwest is, from what I understand, a similar situation to Academy bus property in the Southwest. From what I understand, Academy said, we want to develop a little bit of it. We'll
That's
pay
correct.
for the rest of the park.
Right.
And the city said no.
Right.
It's like they're that dare dog that we all had in like 8th grade or something that taught us to say no to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, just say no when people offer you a free park.
Yeah, I always thought of that.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't make any sense.
Upcoming events.
So there's Pizza Fest this Saturday.
Tell
Saturday.
me about it.
There's all different pizzerias from town, and you buy a ticket, and then you get a card that has all their different stands, and it's in OLG, right? So it's in the auditorium, and they're all spread out along the wall, and you get to taste the different pizzas. So it's really good pizza, really good time. Not very good for lactose intolerant people, so bring your lactate pills with you. Don't crush them up, don't snort them. That's not the way they're supposed to be ingested. And it's from 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock to 6? 1 to 6? I think it's 1 to 6.
Okay.
At OLG, and it's to benefit Party with a Purpose. They do a lot of good work. They donate, the money.
Nice.
So it's a good time.
Might hit that up.
But I am looking forward. There is a Jewish-style delicatessen opening up sometime in the future, hopefully near.
Okay.
Where Boardwalk, what is it called? Boardwalk?
It used to be like the burger spot.
Yeah. It was just called Boardwalk, right?
I think it was Boardwalk Burger. Yeah.
Boardwalk Burger. Well, I liked it, but apparently no one else did.
No one else did.
They had thick fries. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the Jewish-style delicatessen.
Nice.
Because
Me
I
too.
love Lusardo's, and I love our native Italian delicatessens, but it's a different style from the Jewish-style deli.
Mm-hmm.
I am somewhat apprehensive because my people's deli food has not taken off in America. Everyone loves our bagels, but when it comes to our pastrami and our corned beef, you're welcome, Irish people. We gave that to you. You took that from us. They don't eat corned beef and cabbage in Ireland. It's totally a Lower East Side thing where Irish and Jewish immigrants mix together. But anyway, there was once about 9 years ago a Jewish-style deli on First Street that lasted about 9 months. It was a little hole-in-the-wall place.
Bagel Smashery?
No, not Smashery. That's a bagel place. It's in the name. God, you got cannoli for brand.
Jewish bagels.
So that's our food that really took off in America.
Yeah.
But I love our pastrami. I love our corned beef. I love our more obscure meats that no one else has heard of, like rolled beef, which is off the hook.
What was it called?
Rolled beef.
Wow.
It's really, really good. But so
Calzone?
What's the deal with calzone? It's just a shell pizza. It's like an empanada pizza.
Oh
my God. Just buy pizza pockets. Admit that you like pizza pockets.
Raviolis
okay?
must really
All
turn
right?
you up.
Anyway, so I'm gonna eat there, and if I like it, I'm gonna try to go there as much as possible to help it survive and thrive.
Nice.
So yeah,
Cool, man. That's our third episode. Do you have a sign off? I feel like we need to get like maybe a sign off going.
I don't
Something
know.
to
Any
sign
ideas?
off to.
Like,
Like last time I said, oh, for Andrew, this is Josh. That's Hoboken by Impastato.
thank you so much for watching the Einstein Hour. It's been great having you and our guest Andrew. You called me Einstein before, so we're even now. We're even now.
Listen, my last name
even.
gets butchered all the time.
Just called you Anthony.
It's fine.
You know why?
I get at least 3 texts or emails a week that say, Anthony, how are you? Italian last name, Anthony just makes sense. That's why it's like, hey,
I do know that they don't all have the same first name.
I don't
do
get
know-
upset by it. I don't. That's why Impastato, when I said Impastato by Einstein, I mean, what did I say?
It's like we got drunk without drinking anything, right? There's like a secret IV with alcohol that you can't see.
For Josh, I'm Andrew. Hoboken by Impastato and Einstein. That's episode 3.